Have you ever just stopped to watch the world go by and felt completely overwhelmed by how incredibly messy it all seems? Well, today we're going to unpack a concept that bridges the gap between what looks like total, utter confusion and what is, in reality, a deeply structured system. In this explainer, we'll be drawing on both scientific principles and a really captivating philosophical text known as the Burinji Mifkaf to completely shift how you view the world around you. Let's get right into it. To start us off, I want you to picture a bustling city square from above. Imagine you're standing on the balcony of a skyscraper, right? You're looking straight down at this crowded plaza during peak rush hour. Everyone is walking in totally different directions at completely different speeds. You've got people rushing, people strolling, crisscrossing paths, and honestly, it looks like an absolute mess of random movement. Yet, miraculously, if you watch closely, practically no one is bumping into each other. How is that even possible?
Well, that exact observation brings us to part one, Görünmez Düzen, or invisible order. We're talking about the unseen architecture of the world.
You see, there's a really profound difference between our micro and macro perspectives. Down on the ground level, when you're shoulder to shoulder in that crowd, you experience messiness and chaos. It feels super unpredictable. But when we zoom out to the macro level, that perceived chaos actually translates into a perfectly flowing system. The chaos is essentially just an illusion created by our limited viewpoint. So to understand how this crazy shift from chaos to flow actually works, we're turning to part two, Karmashik systems theory. That translates to complex systems theory, which is basically the science of order. The absolute core concept we need to grasp here is what we call emergent order. It's this mind-blowing idea that individual, totally unpredictable elements can combine to create surprisingly ordered patterns overall. It's a recognized observational concept in fields like systems biology and complexity science. And the magic word here is spontaneous. The order isn't forced. It just simply emerges from the sheer interaction of all these distinct, seemingly random parts. Let's ground this in a few concrete examples to make it real. Whether we're looking at a single person walking through that busy plaza we just talked about, an individual ant searching for food outside its colony, or even a single car navigating a massive highway interchange, the individual behavior seems, well, entirely random. I mean, if you only track one single ant, it looks lost, just zigzagging without a plan. But when you put thousands of those ants together, they create incredibly efficient networks, and the exact same goes for human traffic. The really crucial takeaway here is that there is absolutely no boss giving orders. There isn't some tiny general directing the ants, nor is there a master choreographer telling every single pedestrian exactly when to step left or right. The system completely 100% self-organizes. This is the ultimate hallmark of emergent order. It relies on localized interactions rather than top-down centralized management. Which brings us perfectly to part three. Basic kurallar, büyük sonuçlar. Simple rules and ground-up emergence. Okay, so complex systems essentially work in this step-by-step reality. Step one, you have incredibly basic rules at the bottom. Think of a pedestrian's instinct to just, avoid the person immediately in front of them. Step two, as we mentioned, there is no central command, zero. And step three, these basic interactions somehow lead to highly complex, purposeful-looking results at the top, completely without central planning. It's this stunning paradox that simplicity at the lowest level somehow guarantees complexity at the highest level. But logic dictates a pretty profound realization here, one that forces us to think a little deeper. These basic rules themselves, the instinct to avoid a collision or the pheromone trails of ants, they have to come from somewhere, right? Because order and the very rules that generate that order just cannot spring from a system with no rules at all. A purely ruleless, chaotic void cannot suddenly birth a functioning algorithm. Those foundational rules absolutely must exist first. And this fascinating scientific reality sets up a really elegant philosophical pivot found in the Burinji Mifkaf. Let's look at part four, Çok katmanlı düzen, multi-layered order, and its deep structure. The text argues a point that perfectly mirrors our scientific idea of emergent order. It suggests that what humanity sees as a total mess, the random events, the sprawling wilderness, the sheer unpredictable nature of life, is really just the superficial layer. Beneath that surface lies a deeply structured, multi-layered reality. We are simply too zoomed in to see the blueprints.
To illustrate this, the text uses this truly stunning metaphor. It asks us to consider the entire biosphere as a beautifully woven tapestry made of thousands of plant and animal species. This tapestry is constantly being renewed with profound wisdom and precision, and it essentially challenges us with a really big question. If you look at the breathtaking complexity of nature's interwoven tapestry, who truly has the power to weave this? Because, let's be honest, no human could ever coordinate such a vast, intricate system.
Therefore, the text posits a pretty powerful conclusion. If no human can control this immense, intertwined complexity, then the apparent chaos of our world isn't actually chaos at all. It's actually unfolding according to a highly organized set of ultimate rules, described metaphorically as a book of destiny. It's like what looks to us like a messy room is actually a perfectly cataloged archive. We just didn't understand the filing system. Which brings us to our ultimate, macro-level perspective. Part 5, Byuk Dokuma, or the Great Weaving. I want you to just think about the sheer scale here. We aren't just talking about a few hundred people in a plaza anymore. We are talking about billions. Billions of humans, animals, and plants. And every single one of these billions of entities is living out their own completely individual, seemingly random stories. Honestly, from a microscopic view, the sheer math of all these interactions bumping into each other should result in total, catastrophic chaos. Yet the reality is the exact opposite. When you zoom all the way out, past the city plaza, past the ant colony, past the traffic jams, all of these billions of chaotic individual trajectories weave together flawlessly. They merge into a single, unified whole. This emergent order scales up to encompass the entire globe, maintaining this incredibly delicate, ongoing balance that allows life to persist and thrive. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final, really profound thought to ponder. We've seen how science shows us that order emerges from basic hidden rules, and we've seen how philosophy interprets this interconnectedness as a vast, purposeful tapestry. If everything around us, from the movement in a random city square to the entire global biosphere, is a perfectly woven tapestry of emergent order, does this tapestry not have a loom? Take a moment next time you're in a crowd. Just look around and ask yourself what unseen rules are weaving you into the bigger picture. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and keep questioning the order hidden in the chaos.